I just had one villager today that was like, "Oh, are you traveling through?" And I was like, "I've lived here for years." And I was like,
"Yeah,
I'm going to
I own a home here. I'm a homeowner in the city of Ateno. Can you all just? Yeah, it's true.
You say that like, way better than we pronounce it. Hateno.
Hateno.
We call it Hotno.
Hateno.
Hateno.
I don't know. It's Hateno, I think, but
Hateno sounds. I mean, Hotno sounds really Japanese, but Hateno sounds way better. Hateno.
Hateno.
Potato.
Tomato. Potato, tomato.
Okay.
Your lack of faith is disturbing.
Believe it. Okay.
What's going on, geeks? You're listening to episode 348 of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. My name is Cody Armour. I'm here with Lj.Lowery.
Yo.
And Shelley Nollan.
Hello.
This week, we're geeking out about fighting games, movie reboots, and action officers, which is apparently a position.
It's a cool job.
That sounds like the
dopest
job
cool.
title in
we'll
the
talk
world
about
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never heard of... I like CAO. That sounds cool. Never heard of an action officer. It feels like an off-brand Power Ranger.
I'm a CAO. What's that? Action officer.
Action officer.
Like Power Rangers, and then like the great value would be...
Yes, action officers. Defense officer, action officer, offense officer. You know, it just goes on.
Go, action officers. Okay. I'm in a goofy mood today. We're going to go into the games that we've been playing. Still playing Zelda. Shelley, I think you are probably too.
Me too.
Yeah.
And LJ's playing Zelda
I'm
too.
I'm playing Ocarina
Technically,
of Time.
LJ, we'll let you lead with that. Go ahead.
I was just messing, but I'm playing Ocarina of Time. It's been fun. I'm streaming it, so it's been like cool to just like.
What are you playing it on?
The Switch Online stuff.
Okay. Cool.
It's nice because like I remember like all the beginning, like I remember at least like the first 2 dungeons and like the whole castle scene almost by heart. So like I just literally just got through that whole like weird stealth section like without flaw. Like it was just like I'm like wow. It's been fun to know how much it is ingrained into my memory.
I played Ocarina of Time and then immediately played Master Quest on the GameCube.
Nice.
It was the first time I'd played it. I think it's the first game I beat.
The Master Quest totally like throws me
That's
off,
cool.
like in a good way though, because it's different. You know, like they change things around.
Master Quest I had to play twice. My first playthrough, I don't remember what I did, but something with a scarecrow, and I got locked to a point where I couldn't like move forward in the game.
Oh, I bet you that GameCube disc is like super expensive.
I might still have it. I don't know. It's probably very scratched. It's not. It probably can't be in pretty condition. But
no, but I'm enjoying Ocarina of Time. It's been fun to play through again. I mean, y'all can go ahead and talk about Breath of the Wild if you want. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot more to add for me.
Tears of the Kingdom. Sorry.
I got all the towers, and so now I'm just kind of I'm doing much more of the exploring now. My wife's the other way around. She would like explore a place and then get that tower and then go to the next thing, and that's been really cool to see kind of the different play styles that we have. And I think she plays better than I do. She's got way more items.
I did so much exploring before I ever did any Divine Beast stuff in Breath of the Wild.
So I haven't done any. Whatever the Divine Beasts are in this game, they're dungeons, I guess. I haven't done any of that yet. I just went after the towers, and then I went straight to the castle because there was something that I read that I wanted there. So I immediately just kind of went in and got a bunch of like overpowered stuff. But the problem with the overpowered stuff is that it breaks easily.
Oh.
So I don't have a lot of the overpowered stuff still.
Yeah, that's kind of... I was wondering in the beginning game how they're going to like balance with like the fact that you could fuse these weapons. I'm like, they got to make it balance somehow, and they do, but just the fact that they break so much quicker than the first game. They already felt like they broke really quickly in the first game, so it's kind of like, kind of hard to deal with sometimes.
The one thing I'm really kind of confused about, too, is So in the first game, you can have these like sapphires and rubies, and I think it's topaz.
Yeah.
And so obviously you can fuse anything in this game, but they're worth so much that I can't imagine fusing Like it gives them
I just
kind of,
fused
like, a
2
magical
today.
property, and that's cool.
Low-key.
Huh?
I just fused 2 today.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. They are worth a lot,
Was it-
though. I did it.
Yeah,
There's
it
these
just
special.
seems-
There's these special items though that are like meant for the gems. So like I only
Okay.
do it with those. They're like magic wands essentially. So
Oh.
I'm
But
like,
they're like levels, like the power level is 7, right? Like they're real.
yeah, but
Oh.
they're really effective at that ability, and they're really easy to. They're
Okay.
good to have on hand. But it's still not necessarily worth it per se. I just because it was like, I'll just do it because I have them on hand and I don't necessarily need to sell them. But yeah,
I just like if they were like a 20 or something, but I think that kind of makes sense too. Obviously, if you hit someone with a wand, it's not going to do as much damage, just like the actual magic coming from it.
there's a lot of like elemental. I mean, even in the first game, there was like elemental sort of advantages and disadvantages, and that's definitely still a thing in this game too. So it's really nice to, even for me, having just like a fire wand on hand is so helpful because if I run into a fire or like need to start a fire, I don't want to take out flint. I'm just lazy, so I'm like, oh, I'll just do this instead. Or like those trees that can like run at you, like catching them on fire. Like there's a lot of enemies that are weak to fire. So like just catching them on fire is really helpful. But yeah,
I'm terrible about spending all my arrows. I pick up every arrow I see, but like I'll take the fire fruit, and like I've lit a fire because I didn't want to mess with flint using my bow and arrow a few times now, which is so wasteful resource wise.
That's how I lit the fire to get the Master Sword in Breath of the Wild when I did that trick. I was like, oh, I have wood and I have fire arrows. Let me do this. And
Yeah.
Lit up half the forest, like trying to do that.
Yeah, but no, the game feels really fresh. I don't feel like I'm playing Breath of the Wild.
Nice.
It definitely feels like a sequel, but I don't feel like the map, even though it's the same map, doesn't feel like I'm playing this exact same map. It's cool to see
it's
how the
like
world's kind of
so
grown.
expanded, and like things that were in the first map of Breath of the Wild, like I go back to those places where like maybe they're really hard or there was like some particular thing there, and it's like usually totally different. There's like the architecture a lot of times is the same, but then you'll just have like different enemies or different stuff. Or in the cases where there's the same thing, like I went back to the Spring of Courage today, for example, and I'm like, cool, the same thing that's here is still here, and you actually have to do something somewhat similar to Breath of the Wild, but I think is actually pretty cool, but there's kind of a spin on it, and it opens up new content, and so I think that's cool.
Awesome.
It's like there's always still reason to explore, even if you've played Breath of the Wild, like there's always still reason to explore. Yeah.
Like the plateau will try to kill you now.
It's crazy. I've like not gone back. I went there once and I started a quest midway through, but I didn't realize it was a quest. I like went to I missed an entrance. I don't know what I did, but I missed a quest start, and then they're like, oh, you need to go back and do this, and I'm like, screw this, I'm not going back. I just got all the way here, goodbye. And then I just like leave, and I'm like, I'll come back to it maybe way later. But that's what's good about this game is what I'm realizing the more I play, even the things I don't want to do, like I don't really want to do temples right now. And there's stuff like the plateau. I don't really want to do the plateau right now. There's literally so much other content that you could do that by the time I finish another quest line or finish another clothes set or get another cool item that I want, I've totally like forgotten about that thing I was mad about. So I'm actually having way more fun with the game than I had at the beginning because I'm sort of learning how to deal with the frustrations I had, like with Ascend and Ultra Hand. They're still kind of there sometimes, but I've sort of learned to mitigate that and sort of temper my expectations a little bit. And then in times in which I feel like I'm just going to like rage quit or just be really mad, I'm like, well, I'm just going to leave this and come back to it like 20 hours later because there's 20 hours worth of content between these things.
That's
so
what
I'm
I
just
did
going
with
to come back
Elden
later.
Ring. When I got frustrated at something or I got stuck somewhere, I was like, okay, let me take a break and go do this.
Yeah, exactly.
The time sink is crazy. I spent, I think, 2 hours today for a mayoral election.
Oh yeah, I did
And,
that.
like, there was
Yeah,
no combat.
it's fun though. I don't know. You're kind of helping
I
the
spent
people.
so much time on it.
Although the
It was-
world
it
is
was
like
great.
ending, you're like, why are you guys electing a mayor when the world's ending? But whatever.
It was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed doing all of that. But it was like all these little side quests and things that were so... It felt very much about the town and not about the entire... like you said, the world's ending, and then there was this kind of like pocket of like 2 hours of gameplay that I probably didn't need to be 2 hours. I'm slow. But... yeah, I mean, you can spend hours doing kind of whatever you want in this game in a lot of ways. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
The other game that I've been playing is Chained Echoes, of course,
There
for
you
the
go.
Twitch streams. And so the game opened up. You get an airship.
The mech stuff,
Spoilers.
yeah.
And you get the mechs that I've talked about.
Mm-hmm.
That's all kind of in the beginning of the game. Like, they kind of tell you that you'll get there at some point. It felt very Need for Speed Most Wanted. You have the nicest car in the game, and then you lose that car immediately.
Or Metroid.
But the game opening up has made it like incredibly difficult to navigate. It's cool because you can get in your mech suit, and then all these things that were like corridor maps for you in the beginning, you now just fly over them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that felt really good for a little bit until I needed to like get somewhere specific, and I didn't know how to get there.
Oh, wow.
I found out, like, I ended up Googling it because I was Twitch streaming and it was taking forever, and no one wants to see me literally walk in circles.
Yeah.
And so that's been a big complaint that I've seen a lot of other people have, was when you the mech suits, the game kind of falls apart a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that won't be the case. There's a bunch of side quest things that I don't really want to do, and I really enjoyed how streamlined the game was. It was like point A to point B. It was great for streaming because of that, because there was always a story beat happening.
Yeah.
And now it's got this kind of situation where I can do whatever, but I don't want to do whatever because I've been playing half a game where I was invested in a story.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a weird spot. I gotta give it another go and see if I can kind of streamline it myself and get where I need to be, and not have to like recruit all these people that they want me to recruit.
Mm-hmm.
Humor's still wonderful in that game. There was what happened? This lady said something, and then my character was like, "Are you a fortune teller?" And she was like, "How did you know that? Are you a fortune teller?"
What?
The humor is just like that constantly. It's wonderful. It's a fun game.
Nice.
It did get finally dark.
Yeah?
We were joking about it, which made it so much worse.
Oh, shoot.
So I'm going to put this out in the podcast. People know what was going on. So this guy was like, he's like, "You better be careful around here. We're going to put you with the rest of the bodies on the wall." And like, I walked by this wall and there are no bodies. So I was like, wow, they did a poor job of, putting the bodies on the wall. And so me and then someone in the chat were just like joking about how it was like this throwaway line that really didn't matter.
Oh, no.
And I walk by, and like, so kind of be aware of this. It is a rated M for mature game. It is pixel art, but there were literally just like people hanging from the walls, not even like put on spikes or anything, by ropes with like a mask over their head. And it was a very like, I'm almost a little nervous for the rest of this game if it's going to like continue to have this dark turn.
Yeah.
So everyone said that the game was dark, but it had its moments, and it hadn't really been too gruesome yet. But that got me real quiet and real
You're like, okay.
somber for a moment. I was not prepared.
Yeah.
Like, I almost turned the game capture off for a minute.
Wow.
Yeah. So be aware. The game apparently does get gruesome.
Goes places. Wow.
Yeah, I was not prepared for it. I thought it was a throwaway line, and that's how the rest of the game's been. It's just like lines. Like, oh, that's dark, but you don't really like see anything, so you don't worry about it. Yeah, almost forgot about that. That was a moment. And it was such a happy town. That was the worst part, is like the town was so cool before that. It was like there was a festival there. Anyways. LJ, what have you been playing?
Yeah, so the other things I kind of been seriously been playing, I'm not allowed to talk about the full game yet, but I can talk about the open beta. I have been playing a lot of Street Fighter 6. The open beta was great. I mean, there was some issues they kind of had to work out at first, I think. Like matchmaking and stuff wasn't there for the first couple hours. But it's fun. It's a really fun game. I think this is the most accessible entry to Street Fighter ever.
Let's go.
I made the joke that there's this this drive parry button, and it's basically, I call it the press to Daigo button, because
Yeah.
there's this drive gauge you have, and so if you hold it down and time it right, you can do like a perfect parry. Or if you hold it down for a minute, you can at least parry a few attacks until your drive gauge gets burned out. And so it's like, and it does this just thing that I'm like, yeah, that's straight up press the Daigo, because they can throw a bunch of hits at you and you can hold the button down and block like a whole combo that way.
What? Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then they also have another thing. I don't know if it's called like a drive art or a drive something. That's the kind of tagline term, but it's basically another thing where if you hit it at the right time, it basically breaks through whatever your opponent's doing, and it's like a hard hit. It's kind of like the parries they've been having the last couple games, but there's literally these moments where it kind of does this like art, like graffiti style thing. They really bring the street to Street Fighter in this game. It's very graffiti urban style. So there's this like one parry move you can do, or this one counter move where if both of you hit it at the same time, or you vice versa, like you can actually like counter that. But if you hit it at the same time, they both do this thing where they hit each other's fists or do whatever, and they like step back. So it's this really cool like artistic effect.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's neat. They do have like a modern control style for people that aren't used to the Street Fighter controls. I think it's gonna be cool. I think there's gonna be more people playing Street Fighter than ever. So I'm excited. I think, well, we haven't decided what we're going to do about Memorial Day yet, but next time we do record an episode, I will be able to talk about the full game, and my review will be up by then.
So exciting. It's super cool.
Yeah, and it's really cool for us to get something like that from a Capcom rep early. Like a lot of times, we'll get stuff the same day, as it comes out or whatever, but we've got an early opportunity on this one. So, yeah, it's always a win for Geeks Under Grace when this kind of thing happens. As much as I'm enjoying the game, I'm stoked, that it's a win for the whole organization.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the other thing I've been playing that's been super scary is the Dark Pictures anthology, The Devil in Me. It's something me and my buddy Spacehawk have been playing on stream. We do this multi-stream thing where we play at the same time. I've talked about the other games in the series, and after we finish this game, probably this coming week, I will have beat every Dark Pictures game. Super fun.
Hey, that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, super fun to play with friends, and like I played House of Ashes by myself a couple of years ago, but with friends is definitely the way to play these. That's why people played like Until Dawn and like Telltale games like together, and so they actually implemented actual multiplayer mechanics into these. So yeah, that's it for what I've been playing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into the gaming news then. Go ahead, LJ.
All right. So sticking with fighting games, I did mention that there was teasers floating around for Mortal Kombat 12, and we did actually get a trailer for what is now called Mortal Kombat 1. And basically it reboots the series again. I think this is like the second or third reboot they've had since the original. It's basically a reset, and kind of the reset takes place at the end of Mortal Kombat 11. Liu Kang is this like fire god now, or is this like god, like time god now. And basically the point is like, you can do anything. Basically the idea is like, you can change whatever you want, but this world is still their fate. Basically the fate of this universe is still fighting, like no matter what. It almost reminds me of like how Star Wars, the big thing in Star Wars, like, is the balance of the Force. There's always going to be a dark side versus a good side kind of thing. Like in the Mortal Kombat world, you can try to make peace all you want. They're still going to be fighting. There's still going to be battle. And they allude to that in the trailer. Like Scorpion and Sub-Zero are not enemies necessarily in this new universe, but, and then there's certain storylines of characters are going to change basically because of the reset. It's almost like the best way to compare it is Mortal Kombat had like a flashpoint basically at the end of 11.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
all right then.
Yeah, so basically everything's reset, but everybody's still going to end up fighting again. And true to Mortal Kombat form, it's still bloody, still gory, so there's not really much else to say there. I know the devs have talked a little further about what the game's going to be like, and I think we still got to see gameplay, so I wonder if we'll see some during the PlayStation Showcase or something on Wednesday, which is actually happening. So we'll know what all that is the day this episode drops. So
Right.
yeah. The other piece of news I think is pretty huge is that Overwatch 2's PvE mode is no longer in development, which was which was the big reason that they wanted to make Overwatch 2. They were like, oh yeah, we're gonna have this PvE thing where you're gonna be able to like, you know, level up your characters across these like stages and all that. And it was supposed to be like story content, which I mean they do have like PvE like events sometimes, you know, but like this was supposed to be like a full thing. And I guess they decided they're canning it for whatever reason. So Overwatch 2 has basically at this point become pointless to a lot of people, because in hindsight you could have just updated the original Overwatch game.
Yeah, there's nothing that really makes this stand out anymore. It was just a big promise.
Yeah, and I think of like Fortnite, like you really could have like even Fortnite they update their engines, but it's all the same client. It's all, you know, like they happen to put it all in the same thing. So it's like Overwatch could have done that just as easily probably. And I think it's slightly better looking, and there's some like weather effects and other changes to these maps, but yeah, like it's ultimately the same game still. So
Depressing.
yeah,
I feel bad for Overwatch fans because they've gone through so much with how terrible Blizzard is. Yeah. And I think this was like the one thing they're kind of pulling through. They're like, okay, Blizzard sucks. Like, not going to play any more like Blizzard games outside of what I've been playing, kind of thing. Or you know, oh, we're just pulling through for this one really cool mode. You know, we're mad that Overwatch even exists. Like, but it's all going to be worth it, right? It's all going to be worth it once this PvE comes out. And then they cancel it after 4 years? They announced it 4 years ago.
Yep.
Man.
Yep.
That's so disappointing.
I think the thing that sucks too is like for players that like I would love to get back in there, but it's like it's one of those things too that like all the heroes are locked off season by season as well. They were a thing you had to earn each season. So this is not the only thing that Overwatch 2 has gotten some flack for.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a game I haven't been back to in a while. And this does kind of suck for those dedicated people. So yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah.
Well, we'll get into the movies we've been watching then. I don't think I saw any movies, so go ahead, LJ.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched most of it, but I wanted to catch Extraction because I believe there is a sequel coming to Netflix, I think, this summer. Okay. And I liked what I watched so far. It's
Chris Hemsworth, right?
Yeah, typical action movie. It feels... Mm-hmm. This is definitely one of those movies where I'm like, oh yeah, if Call of Duty was... We don't need a Call of Duty movie or anything like that because this is it. You know, like...
Yeah.
Stuff like this and like Black Hawk Down and stuff. Like, there's just movies that I'm like, oh yeah, like it's totally like this is like watching a Call of Duty movie. That dude racks up a kill count, like, which just... Dude definitely got some kill streaks up in there.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was a fun action movie. But I wanted to at least catch it before the sequel came out. Because I'm like, oh, it must be decent enough that they made a sequel, that they decided to make a sequel. So, yeah, it's not really much else to say about it. It was fun.
Cool. I remember it being really hard to understand them talking in that movie.
Yes. So, I've become one of these people, right? Where, I'm sorry if anybody is listening to this. I have started watching movies, at least on Netflix, with captions on. Because I feel like I cannot hear a dang thing. Like, I was watching Prisoners. I mean, that's a quiet movie in itself. But then Extraction, I was like, I cannot hear what's going on. I had to turn the volume up to like...
That and Tenet, for me, are like two of the hardest movies to ever...
I had to turn the volume up to like 20. Just to like...
captions out to you.
I'm like,
I'm so excited for Amazon's, like...
That's why we're
dialogue thing.
Yeah. It's like people aren't... Amazing. It's one more accessible to those who are hard of hearing anyway, which is like really, really big. But I think so many people are so just like they can't like for me, like I really do also need like subtitles most of the time to be able to really comprehend what the heck's going on, and like so audio isn't enough for me a lot of times. I don't know if it's just I'm bad at paying attention or what, but I think it really is the audio mixing. Too. So quiet, so much of the time.
Yeah, there's like stuff in the back of the movie, like it's kind of someone's like saying something, you know, that you're not really supposed to hear. It's just kind of noise, but you get it in the caption.
Yeah, that's true. Like, that's true. And you're like, oh. Like, that's
like I never would have heard that.
Yeah.
I noticed that we were watching the Creed movies and we had the captions on. I think because the captions are on for whatever we were watching before it. And Sylvester Stallone, Rocky, says something like that you would have never heard while they're fighting.
Yeah.
Because you're watching them fight and hearing the punches and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Captions are cool. If I can get dialogue to be just like amplified on everything.
Yeah.
That's why I'm turning the sound up. I'm not turning the sound up to hear explosions.
Turn the sound up because I can't
explosions.
flip and hear them what they're saying.
Yeah. Well, and then Shelley, you watched something.
Yeah. I think I mentioned it last week. We're kind of watching Harry Potter again.
Nice.
Some of the movies. I don't know if I mentioned last week. I think we did watch the third one, but we watched the fourth one this week. And this again, I don't really have much to say about it other than we don't need a show. We don't need a show. Yes, I know there's a ton of stuff they cut from the movies, from the books, and like some of that stuff would have been cool to see. Yeah, like for example, like the fourth book, it's a movie. For example, I always mention to my husband when we're watching, I'm like, oh, you know, there's actually just supposed to be like this cool Sphinx in the last like trial who like does this like whole riddle thing, right? And that's like kind of a cool thing that they miss in the movie. But the movies do justice to the books. They do it good enough. They do it really well. The actors really do a great job. It's iconic in its own way, and you can still love the books and love the movies for different reasons too, kind of like me, you know. We don't need a show. We don't need a show. We don't need it. Please stop it now. Just watch the movies again and you'll be happy. Like, I'm sorry if you're a huge Harry Potter fan who's like super duper looking forward to a show to be totally true to the books. They're still not going to be true to the books, I'm sure. There's still going to be some weird crap that J.K. Rowling or someone's going to add or take away or change or do. And maybe just read the books again.
I've not met anybody excited for that show yet, so...
Yeah, I'm more excited for the Twilight show, if anything.
Yeah, like that could probably... Yeah, that could benefit from the show, from a show, I think.
Yeah, exactly, but I don't know, maybe I'm rare. I feel like I'm not, of someone who likes Harry Potter, who does love the books, but also really loves the movies, and knows that we don't need a show. We don't need more content. I really don't think I'm alone in that. I think I'm a big majority, actually. But still kind of interesting to think about. It's just fun and nostalgic. And it's fun because I know Harry Potter so well that I could just be hearing what's going on or kind of like seeing one scene. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what's happening, and can just sort of explain it and like quote along with it. My husband's the same way for Lord of the Rings. So like he's got Lord of the Rings. When we're watching Lord of the Rings, he's got it all on lock. And then for Harry Potter, like I got it all unlocked, so that's kind of a fun thing we can kind of experience together. But anyway, really not much to say about that other than Harry Potter's fun.
Nice,
cool. Well, we get into the movie news then.
Yeah, so I actually think because we got two sort of reboot potential things to talk about. So I think I'm first going to talk about the non-reboot thing, and also first of all. Technically, one of these is Disney, but it doesn't really feel like Disney. None of these are MCU. Like, we got some actually interesting news today, in my opinion. So we got a trailer, finally, for Five Nights at Freddy, which is like, I knew the movie was coming out. I think we all knew that, you know, they kept saying, like, oh, this movie's coming out, we're making a movie. And I'm like, are they actually making a movie? Like, I hadn't heard about it. But they finally have a trailer. And it's beautiful, right? It just looks like it's going to be some cheesy,
it looks solid for what it is.
Yeah, and if someone has never played the games or heard of the games, they're just going to see this and be like, oh, evil animatronics at a pizza restaurant, cool. And that's all it's going to be, and it's going to be great. But also, Josh Hutcherson is my boy. I love that man. I love him. Ever since, like, Bridge of Terabithia, dude, like, and Hunger Games all the way through.
Yes.
I really, it's like, and I haven't seen him in a long time, so I don't really think about him that often, but
I haven't seen him in a while.
I'm actually really excited that he's in this movie. I don't know if I should be, but like, I'm really excited to see him. I'm like happy because I'm just like,
I watched
look,
this
it's Josh
TikToker
Hutcherson.
who was talking about the movie, and he's like, "Come on, y'all know him being in this movie. We all know Pita isn't gonna die. Like, come on."
It's true, actually. I think it could also for the fans of Five Nights at Freddy's out there. I don't know. Maybe they'll throw in some cool lore or something. I don't know. I feel like they'll throw a bone in that way. I just think it's gonna be fun, and it's probably gonna be stupid and cheesy. But so are the games, right? Like, I just think they don't need to try very hard. They just need to. Already, it looks like they got the concept down. They really don't need much more than that. And I think I do want to see it just because I do love, like, again, I'm one of those hypocritical people who's never played any of the games, but like is a fan just because I watched so much YouTube of it. I'll probably go watch the movie, even though I hate scary movies. I might just like scream. I don't know, jump scares. I really. That's why I don't play these games. Is I hate jump scares. I'm not a jump scare person. But there's probably gonna be jump scares in this movie, and I might just try to tolerate it. So we'll see. Because at least I know what's coming. It's gonna be the Freddy scream. Freddy screaming. So, and that's coming out. Oh frick, I don't remember when. I think it's like around Halloween. I think it's October. Which is pretty cool. I like that a lot. So we actually have another sort of spooky movie coming out. Also kind of silly. More on the silly side though. Transitioning to this reboot section. So we're actually getting a reboot of Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
It looks really fun. Yeah, and I actually really like
Didn't know I needed it, but it looks okay.
Yeah, I don't know if we need it either. And I think it's coming out this summer, which is like really odd timing, I think. Like kind of weird timing, but whatever.
I didn't think the original was bad, like you were saying. Like, I didn't think the original was necessarily
I like the original. But I also love Eddie Murphy, and we'll be talking about it a little bit later. I love Eddie Murphy. He is also one of my favorite, like, actors, at least, like, comedian sort of actors. Like, any movie he's in is just a good movie. Yeah. Kind of. Or he's never the bad part in any movie. Like, he always just makes it better. He carries the movie. So it's kind of sad not seeing Eddie Murphy, for example, but we have Robert De Niro, so I guess that makes up for it. I'm like, why is Robert De Niro? No, what is he doing here? So, anyway, I just think that's kind of crazy. But, sorry, why did I say Robert De Niro? I meant Danny DeVito. Italian names, they're all the same.
Danny DeVito.
Sorry, Italians were listening.
I was like, oh.
I meant Danny DeVito. But what is he doing here? I don't know. He's being funny, being goofy. I think that's pretty great. But also very much out of left field. I was just like, do we really need another Haunted Mansion? But, okay. I mean, there's worse things to make another movie on, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Owen Wilson's also in it.
They did the pirate thing, or not the pirate thing, the Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, they did do Jungle Cruise. But yeah, Owen Wilson's also in it. So that's also good news. I don't know. The acting lineup looks fun, which makes me think this is probably going to be a nice, fun movie. I also love the Muppets Haunted Mansion. There's a Muppets Haunted Mansion, too.
Oh, yeah.
And it's funny because, like, my husband, he grew up watching a lot of Muppets, and I really didn't. I mean, I always liked Muppets, but I really didn't watch much Muppets at all. But he grew up watching Muppets Haunted Mansion. I grew up watching regular Haunted Mansion with, like, Eddie Murphy, and so he got to show me the Muppets Haunted Mansion. I was like, oh, there's like these references, these connections, and then like vice versa too. And I showed him the Eddie Murphy one. He's like, oh,
me that Muppets Mayhem came out. I've heard it's good.
Oh heck yeah, I forgot about that. Anyway, so that's cool and fun, and more reboots with Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy might be Jacques Cousteau in a Pink Panther reboot, which again, I feel like on the show I'm always like super anti-reboots. Generally speaking, I'm very anti-reboots. I'm like, we don't need more nostalgia bait. We don't need any more of this. I think
make something new. Like
Haunted Mansion is kind of like okay, it doesn't hurt anybody. It's like I'm not feeling passionate about it. Pink Panther, I love Pink Panther.
Well, that's why as soon as I shared that link, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, like
I love the original movies, and I also love the Stephen Barton movies, and I'm actually all about another reboot. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's a comedy. I don't know what it is, but I'm okay with a reboot for Pink Panther. Maybe I just feel like it doesn't have enough love or something. But like, I grew up watching a lot of those movies and the cartoons that like kind of came with it. We had like this big disc of like a bunch of the original movies, but also like cartoons that had like
I
the Pink
remember the
Panther.
cartoons. Yeah.
And those were really fun. And then like the Steve Martin ones came out, and because my parents were already fans of the originals, we watched those, and I still just love at least that first movie. I'll still like watch occasionally. So I think it'd be really great to have another Pink Panther movie, and I think Eddie Murphy also would be a perfect Jacques Cousteau. I think it'd be so fun. I think it'd be so awesome, and like he could put his own spin on it. I think, yeah. I don't get excited about reboots, but it's not confirmed.
Also,
right? Yeah, and it's not confirmed, but like he's talking about it, and I think that'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
We just need Beyonce back in this one too. Just bring her back. Anyway, that's all we got for movie news. Just reboots and fun trailer, and surprisingly nothing to rant about.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Dang. Insane.
A big.
We'll get into TV then. The only thing that I've watched that's worth mentioning, I guess, is probably I finished Titans.
How was it?
Nice.
It's I like the show. The last 2 episodes are probably the series finale. I don't think that's been confirmed, but I don't think it's been greenlit or not. Greenlit, and I doubt they're gonna make more with James Gunn going forward. It also ended in a way that felt very like, hey, we know that this is coming to close. They set it up to where they could come together if they needed to, but don't really. Yeah, it felt like a series finale. But I've always said that the show feels like a web series with a huge budget.
Yeah.
And so, Brother Blood, big bad guy at the end of this.
Yeah.
And he's wearing this mask. And it's this like fake skull mask that goes over. It literally looks like it's from Spirit.
What?
And I think it would have been fine, except that he you can see the elastic.
Oh no!
Way.
For the back of that, and this is like a magically appearing mask. It's not like he just decided to put it on.
That's terrible.
And he takes it off, and you can see the strap hanging off the mask.
There's no way, bro.
That's bad.
I love the show so much. For things like it's just so cheesy. Like it feels like a web series. That's totally something that, like a YouTube show would do. The worst part about it too is that like he took off the mask, so you saw it, but he wears a hood in like 4 scenes over, and you can't see the elastic strap. I don't like, man. They could have just thrown the hood on him the entire time, and like you could see the skull mask, and it would have looked really cool. And no one would have. I was totally taken out of the show. This stupid elastic strap he's wearing. All their other costumes look so nice.
It's a strap.
It's
so
comical.
Strap.
It was indeed a trap.
No
I mean, I feel like they picked it up from Spirit Halloween. They might.
Oh my gosh!
If not, they bought like a skull.
We forgot this
like,
mask. Let's
costume.
go pick one up,
dude.
Yeah,
that's awful.
They probably tried painting it, maybe, and they're like, "We can't paint it. We gotta go. Let's go get something from Spirit or from some like Halloween store, and then maybe cut it a little bit, like so that it was original. I don't know. They might not have even done that. It might literally be something from Spirit. It was this plasticky, like painted. It's so funny. But there is a really cool scene of like, I don't think anyone cares about the pose of this. They fight bad guys.
They fight bad guys? Oh my gosh!
I had no idea.
Of Robin and Nightwing, like fighting together.
That's cool.
Against Brother Blood, and it looks so cool. Regardless of how dumb he looks, like you just got Robin and Nightwing fighting together, and that's what the show is just a bunch of like things that geeks want to see, thrown into the best they can story.
Nice.
Yeah.
I still say really sad about the guy that plays Superboy. Mentioned that before, but it's really a bummer that he was in this and that he wasn't just cast in James Gunn's younger Superman, because the actor is really good. And it looks like the perfect young Superman. It's a bummer, but fun show. Just be prepared for the really cheesy ness that happens every once in a while. They had like a Black Panther-esque, I can't remember his name. He's a guardian of the red. And it felt like great value Black Panther. Like, it was like they were trying.
Oh no.
It's so cheesy.
No.
I love this show. So yeah, that's where that is at. It's probably over.
Oh,
And I'm okay with that. It's time for it to end.
it's time.
Rest in peace, Titans. Rest in peace.
It was a fun ride.
Fun.
That said, season 3 was probably the best. So you have to watch a couple of like seasons to get to a really good season, and then
then
the
it
season
ends.
was also
Just
meh.
pouring one out for the rest of the homies. I think Flash had its final episode this past week.
Oh,
too,
yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since we're sending off,
CW is almost
since
done.
we're sending off Titans, let's send off everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the end of DC as we know it.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy. I guess we have Aquaman still.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I've heard that's terrible.
Yeah.
Blue Beetle's supposed to be in the new universe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of excited for the new universe.
I
I'm
am
not gonna
too.
lie.
Yeah. I have high hopes.
That's my biggest thing is Brandon Thwaites, who played Nightwing, and he's getting a little too old now, so maybe not. But then the guy that played Superboy, they're kind of like would be perfect for this new universe they're making. They're both great actors and just got put in a really bad show.
Mm.
But the guy that's playing Robin right now, he's playing Tim Drake. He was in the new Batman movie, so
Oh yeah.
it was really
Oh.
confusing and weird.
Yeah.
So maybe they have a chance for the other ones. LJ, what have you been watching?
Yeah. So I've been watching more Rebels, which is really good. Thrawn is a really cool character so far. I'm curious to see more of him. The dude is a tactician and just is waiting for this ultimate plan, and it's just like that's the part that's keeping me on the edge of my seat with Rebels. I'm like what's this dude got going? You know, like everything he does is for a very specific reason, and just I enjoy watching that character. I think I'm not quite into season 4 yet, but I'm getting there. There's things unfolding. I think since I'm towards the end of season 3. The other show I didn't initially list it on here, but I kind of want to report that I hate to say this, but Ted Lasso has been a really rough season. Like it's the third
Is this
season.
most recent?
Yes, and I think this
Heard that.
yeah. It just feels like they have all these plot lines that like it doesn't feel as original. It feels like I don't know if somebody said, "Hey, we need to have these things." Like I don't know if it was a studio demand or what. And it just is kind of weird because the most recent episode felt like it was cleaning stuff up that were like I'm like, "Okay, y'all just had all this stuff happen this season and now you're cleaning it up." So a lot of it feels pointless. It's kind of sucks because the show is so wholesome and it's been so good. There have been really good episodes this season, but I think this season has been it's been a mess. It's sad because this show deserves better than that. I think there's only 2 more episodes left. But yeah, it kind of feels like I don't know what the deal was or what happened behind the scenes, but just didn't feel like you got to let the writers do. If it doesn't feel like the writers got to write, I guess, or at least
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like they were no longer able to make the show that they had been making for the last 2 seasons. I don't know. It's a bummer, but I hope it wraps up nice with 2 more episodes left. But other than that, the first 2 seasons are great. I still recommend the first 2 seasons without a doubt. So. But I will report on the show. I realized that it had been a few weeks since I've talked about it, but that's kind of like I haven't really been that excited about it. I've just been like, ooh, something's going on here. I don't like it. But yeah, I'll report back when the show actually wraps up and give more thoughts on that. So yeah, that's where I'm at with Ted Lasso.
Bummer.
Yeah.
We'll get into the TV news then. So Netflix both of our news is Netflix. We can talk about the weird one first. I think it's a good thing. I'm kind of excited about it. But Arnold Schwarzenegger is the CAO, which is the Chief Action Officer.
Rad job title.
It's just like...
I don't know. Like, did they make that up?
I mean, honestly, he probably, like, walked up and said, hey, I want to do stuff for you. And they're like, well, we're going to make you a position because we definitely want you to work for us. We'll make a way. And then this is their way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some weird consulting
it has to be
gig.
Chief something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not even Chief. It's just Consulting Action Officer.
Yeah.
And they're like, CAO. But he's just going to be, like, working on the action of films, I guess. But he's Chief, so I'm assuming that he's just, like, okaying and consulting, like you said, action of films. Mm-hmm. What they need to do. So, we'll see how it all kind of, like, works out.
It makes me think of like movies I was just talking about, like Extraction and stuff like that. Like they, and other action stuff they do.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if he was kind of in on that would be cool.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know. They made like a whole promo, and he gets out of a tank.
Yeah.
And announces that he's, which I guess is actiony. It's cool. We'll see how it all plays out later on. Yeah. Probably in a few years. Probably won't see anything for a while that he has his hands in.
Yeah.
But something we don't have to wait for long is Dragon Prince Season 5 comes out in July.
That's so soon. And
yeah,
crazy. I mean, just in comparison to like how long we had to wait for this last season.
Yeah.
I was prepped. I wasn't thinking about it. But now I'm going to start thinking about it. If it's that soon. Even though, as terrible as it sounds, I already kind of don't remember the last season, even though it wasn't that long ago. Like I do, if you were had to ask me, I'd probably be able to figure it out. Like, I think they go to the Earth place. Yeah, they do that.
Earth place.
PTSD.
Yes. Kind of questionable writing sometimes. I remember that. But it wasn't too bad. People were really mad. And I didn't like it that much, but I think there was a lot more hate than it needed. It was fine. It was a fine season. It was just okay. Like every other season. Like season 3 was really, really good, I think, but...
Season 3 was great.
Yeah.
I thought so, at least. I think it's these story arcs, though. Like, they kind of build up, and so... it's not doing what Voltron did, because Voltron was more and more amazing every season. But I have a feeling that it's
crash and burned.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Voltron was great, though. But I'm assuming, or hoping, I guess, what'll happen with this is that last season was kind of weak, and then it'll build up to a third season that's really good again. 6, and then kind of go back. Well, is there only 6 or are there 9? They're 9, right?
There's what?
Good question. I don't know.
Can't remember. Anyways, I think they're doing what Marvel's doing unintentionally. They're kind of like, you gotta start low, reset the bar.
I think they do. I
wonder if that previous season was a victim of COVID as well. Like, I wonder if.
Yeah,
that's a good.
But they waited so long. I think that was part of the reason too, is we waited so long and that's all we got. And it was just
yeah, that's why
3 months later we would be like, oh, cool.
This one's kind of sneaking under the radar a little bit, like it's coming out in a couple months. Like we don't have as much time to like get super hyped or super like have all these set expectations. We're just gonna watch it, and it's probably gonna feel better than the first one, even if quality wise, if it's similar level, it's gonna be a lot easier to take in, just because we don't have that super duper long wait, and also you don't have another graphic novel, hopefully, that's between seasons that you have to know for some reason that they don't explain. I think they did release another graphic novel, actually, but I think it's
that's terrible.
I think it's a like super in the past. I think it's about Claudia like as a child. And so it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think that's going to be necessary. Like, it's not like something that happens in between seasons. But anyway, it's got a lot more going for it than the first one did already.
Like, Stranger Things, I think, did that successfully. We had to wait forever for Stranger Things, and that last season was absolutely amazing.
Really good, yeah.
It's true.
It's kind of got the opposite, and they were like, we're spending all this money on the show, and you need to hurry up and just get it done. and kind of set it out without. I didn't feel like I had a lot of love that last season.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think they're trying to set up things, but setting up things isn't always that entertaining to watch. Or read, for that matter. It's actually, I talk about how I've been reading Rhythm of War, and I'm almost done. I'm only like 10 and a half hours till the end of the book. So, yes, by Britt Sanderson levels, that's almost done. But this book has been a struggle for me because it has been a ton of setup and a ton of setup and a ton of setup. And it almost feels like the whole book is a setup for the next book, which, because he's only going to be doing 1 or 2 more books in the series for Sterling Archive. I don't remember if he's doing 5 or 6, but he's doing one of them. And this book feels just like a bunch of setup for future books. And so that's why it's like, well, listen, I get it. It's important. And there's also a lot of flashbacks to this one character I don't care about backstory that I don't care about. That's just sort of like kind of annoying to read through. But again, I have to sort of acknowledge, like, yes, this is for the setup. And if we don't have this, it's going to make things really confusing and bad. Like, this is going to be worth it. But sometimes you kind of have to get through that crap. But it still doesn't make it super enjoyable to read/watch. It just puts more pressure on the future. Because then if it doesn't pay off, then it feels like wasted time. If it pays off, then you're kind of like, okay, well, we had to get through it, but we did it and it was worth it. But if it doesn't pay off, then it's just a waste of time and then kind of annoying to everybody. So, yeah. So hopefully that's not the case for this. Hopefully it's better than that.
Yeah. Just a couple months. We'll know. We'll know more. Hopefully it continues to get better. But that is all of the news. We can get out about anything else this week. Yes,
I do have something.
Yeah, go for it.
So, I'm not sure how many listeners are familiar with Nerd of GUGcast. I was asked to do some of their daily nerd devos. And basically, Ryan Felton is kind of the leader of that. He kind of runs that. Cody was on a Nerd of GUGcast episode, and I was as well, with like a roundtable of other Christian like podcasters.
And Tony Talaveras was on our
and Tony T. Yep, he was on our Level Up event, and so I did one this week. He asked me about it like on Thursday or Friday, I think, and I recorded one, and basically, it's a 3-minute thing. They put one, I think, every day of the week, except for weekends. But basically, mine was on the scripture "Walk by faith, not by sight." And talked about how two of my favorite characters, Cyclops and Daredevil, how they are technically, they have to, face challenges and certain things that other heroes don't have to face. They do technically have superpowers, but they'll also have this disability that I relate to. And
yeah,
I apply that to scripture. It's a little 3-minute thing. If y'all want to go give it a listen, please do. I've posted it everywhere on social media. I plan to do more though, because it was really fun, and I really want to do more. And it's kind of what Geeks Under Grace does a lot in our content as well, just in written form. But you can literally wake up and listen to one for a few minutes, and it could be about anything you geek out about. You just gotta see what the topic is for the day. So it was really cool to be a part of that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Heck yeah, thanks for plugging that. Very good.
Yeah.
Speaking of plug-in, we didn't even talk about Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about the movie. Scott Cawthon.
Yeah. Yes.
Cut that, LJ. We have an interview with Scott Cawthon on our website. I meant to plug that earlier. I forgot it. It's an older interview.
Yeah.
Back when he had first made the game, and he had contacted us.
Yeah.
So he contacted us, and then kind of disappeared for a while.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a good interview.
We got name dropped in Game Theory as well, and Did You Know Gaming with Matt Pat.
Yeah.
That was cool.
No one else could get a hold of Scott except for us, and so we were the only source. And this was way back when nobody knew who Geeks Under Grace was.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It was really cool. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just remembered that. Anyways,
good.
We'll have the podcast there.
Yeah.
Shelley, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at TheShellshock24.
And LJ?
You can find me everywhere on social media at LJ the Paladin.
And you can find me on Instagram at Cody Armour. I went on my monthly hike It was fun.
Nice.
Yay!
To Yellow Rock, and it was an amazing, amazing view. It's just a giant cliffside. It was crazy. And then on twitch.tv/Geeks Under Grace. Most Wednesdays, I won't be there this Wednesday. But playing Chained Echoes. Unless it continues just get darker, then I might give it up.
Unless it gets unchained.
Yeah, if it starts if it gets any worse.
Yeah.
I might have to put it up. Well, keep gaming, keep praying, and God bless.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. We love hearing from you, so feel free to ask us questions or just comment on the show by using the hashtag GUGcast on Twitter, or by joining the GUGcast questions channel in the Geeks Under Grace Discord. If you like this episode, consider leaving a review or rating of our show on your favorite podcast app. If you want even more Geeks Under Grace, you can always go to geeksundergrace.com. We love you all so much, so thank you for listening.
It's on!